What the heck?
Good morning. Do we have everybody? Is council here today? Council is excused for the day? Let me know when we're ready, Phil. Okay. It is June 25, 2026 at 9:01 a.m. The board meeting of the Oregon State Board of Nursing is now called to order. A notice of this meeting was published by Richard Prusak, Executive Director, in accordance with the open meeting law. If necessary, the board may also meet in executive session as authorized by ORS 192.660 subsection 1, ORS 192.660 subsection 2F and L, ORS 678.126, ORS 676.165, and ORS 676.175 subsection 1. Board members and staff stating that they are present are attesting to understanding the confidentiality of executive sessions and have taken steps to ensure that the executive session's proceedings are not observed or heard by anyone not authorized by public meeting law, ORS 192.660. Is there a roll call by our secretary?
Yes. Oleniki Tolobola,
Present.
Margaret Hill, excused. Claire McKinley Yoder, present. Joni Kalis.
Here.
Linda Stanich.
Here.
Rachel Dennis.
Here.
Philippa Nesta.
Present.
Rachel Mitzel.
Here.
Matt Calzia.
Here.
There being a quorum present, I declare this board eligible to conduct its business. Executive Director or Chief of Staff, do we have roll call? Thank you.
Present.
Nico Van Winkle. Go ahead. Matt Pink.
Present.
Philip Fox.
Present.
Etherington.
Present. Present.
Young. Present. Brandy Ritter. Present. Kimberly Goddard. Present.
Thank you. So I guess we have two more to add to the roll call.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yep. Executive Director Prusak.
Started. I love that. Here.
And Investigations Manager Aaron Ferris.
Present. Thank you.
Bill zooms in.
Thank you. We got all the coffees in. So we're going to go over approving the consent agenda. Do we have any changes or modification to that? If there are none, Executive Director, do you want to make a motion?
Sure. I make a motion that the board accepts the consent agenda.
There were Okay. Okay.
It's
no
okay to
worries.
be sorry.
Okay. So under A3, on page 33, it says there's 2 nays, but there's only 1 name there. So it's just a typo. But otherwise, I don't see any issues.
I'll do it.
I think my only comments was on page 36. Somehow it doesn't show me that I was on the list.
So with 2 modifications?
Yes. Except there's any other modification. So we have modification on page 36 to add the board president and modification on page 33 to page 33, A3, to clarify that there's only 1 nay and 1 absent.
Yeah.
If there's no other question, can we
Yeah,
get
absolutely.
ready for a motion?
Yeah, so I make a motion that the board adopt and accept the meeting minutes with the 2 modifications mentioned.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Oleniki Tobola,
Yes.
Claire McKinley Yoder, yes. Joni Kalis.
Yes.
Linda Stanich,
Excused.
Rachel Dennis,
Yes.
Philippa Nesta,
Yes.
Rachel Mitzel,
Yeah.
Matt Calzia.
Yes.
We'll go to the approval of the May 5th meeting minutes. On page 38, any modification or addition or anything that needs to be adjusted? If there is none, we are ready for a motion on the May 5th Executive Director.
I make a motion that we approve May meeting minutes as presented.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Oleniki Tobola,
Yes.
Claire McKinley Yoder, yes. Joni Kalis.
Yes.
Linda Stanich.
Yes.
Rachel Dennis,
Yes.
Philippa Nesta,
Excused.
Rachel Mitzel,
Yeah.
Matt Calzia.
Yes.
The motion has passed.
Thank you. I know we have Dr. Blackhurst coming up next, but can we take a 5 minutes just to get a reset? We kind of jumped in there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Blackhurst? Thank you.
All right, good morning, members of the board. So I am beginning on page 40 of the packet. And the draft rules before you today are really the culmination of our phase 2 work related to the passage of House Bill 3044. As you'll recall, phase 1, we updated 11 divisions of the Practice Act that the board reviewed in September and November. All of those changes were implemented January 1st. And so in the last 6 months, our staff has been really involved in this continuous quality ongoing review of the rules now that they've been implemented. And so what is before you today are amendments related to just refining that prior rulemaking, better operationalizing, clarifying, adding in items that were maybe overlooked in some way that we wanted to articulate better, all for the purpose of first, clarifying those standards for licensure of nurses in Division 31, and then following that, we'll have the standards for certification of CNAs in Division 62. So again, all of this is meant to better operationalize our processes, but I would love to answer what questions you have.
I have a question. Regarding, it's on page 44 and 47, just on the credentialing of foreign educated nurses. So who does the nursing board use for credentials eval?
We do not endorse a specific product. However, we have certain standards for what we need to see. And so you can see those standards in the rule. Like we need to see that the credential evaluation is evaluating their nursing program, that they're evaluating that the program was approved, that it's articulating, the details of their education, but not a specific vendor.
Well, how many vendors are there? I mean, I'm thinking Cogfins, but who else does it?
I think one of the main big ones is West, because West does like multiple countries. But there's like quite a bit out there.
I do believe there's dozens of vendors out there. However, to meet our standards, we know that not every vendor does. And so that's why the rule is articulating really what we need to see to evaluate that nursing education.
And I was curious too, how close? Like, I'm assuming there's both content hours.
Yeah.
How close does it have to be?
So we need to see that they are getting an education that is across the lifespan, that it is across settings, that the education, we're looking for a comparability statement. So this education is comparable to this type of degree in the United States. We're looking to see again that they have a clinical component. So that's really what we're looking for comparability.
So basically, the credentialing agency says, yes, this is a substantially equivalent or comparable program. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other question?
I was just the military education. I was just so I think it's in page 44, 2D. And so it says it's U.S. Military Practical Nursing Education Program. So this is like, it is truly nursing education. It's not like a medic program that has similar tasks to nursing. It has like a nursing professional.
Thank you for letting me clarify that one as well. So there is a military practical nursing program. There are some equivalents. And so the courses you see identified in rule are the National Council of State Boards of Nursing has done a education analysis of the different military training options to ensure that, yes, these ones would be comparable
Thank
to
you.
a practical.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Can I make a follow up on that one? Because I know it looks like you had the 60 WM6, but that looks like it's outdated and you mostly use 68 Charlie now for that. And that was like a prior MOS.
That is something that I would be happy to dig into. I'll also let you know that the National Council is currently redoing the analysis. So it's very likely in the next year or so, they'll release new guidance on really the updated military education paths and how they align.
Thank you. Any other question?
Yes. On page 50, on licensure reinstatement, what if you have an applicant coming from a state that doesn't have any continuing education requirements? Make a difference?
So our intent here was that with reinstatement, we've had situations before where someone held an Oregon license, they moved to another state, they've been practicing actively in that state, and they've let their Oregon license lapse. When they're coming back to Oregon to reinstate the license, what's happening is that the rule is directing however many years you've been out of practice, you have to do this large amount of CE. But that doesn't really align with the fact that they're actively licensed and working in another state. It's not really, it doesn't really fit with that model of reinstatement being like you're fully out of practice and coming back. And so for reinstatement, we see it as long as you're doing what you need to do in whatever state you're actively practicing in, and then you're reinstating back in Oregon, that we're not going to make you do the large amount of CE because you've not been out of practice.
So as long as they're continuously practicing?
Yes.
If they had a year lapse, then they don't fall in this category?
Yes. So if they have an active license in another state or territory, then they are exempted from those competency requirements.
How does that work? Because I know I know that we had talked about that there are some states that don't have any requirements to keep an active license. So I don't know. Can you give me a state so I can kind of make this example?
Oh gosh,
Or-
I don't want to
Okay.
name a state
I'm gonna
incorrectly.
I'm gonna say the state of Paradise.
Okay.
I don't know. So we'll say that I'm a licensed nurse in Paradise that does not have any requirements for me to actively be practicing. Someone could, and like I haven't, done anything for 10 years. Very old nurse, apparently. But I still have an active license there. So they would still be able to come here and be like, well, I've got an active license in Paradise. And even though I haven't practiced for 10 years, they'd still be able to do the reinstatement here.
I think that's a really good question. I think there's several other factors to consider, is that even in those states that don't necessarily have a competency requirement to renew a license, they're still having to renew the license. And so it's difficult with every state having slightly different standards, but if they're actively licensed in another state, it's hard to say that they can't reinstate here in Oregon with that active license. And,
Was it, can remind me, 10 CUs per year is what we averaged when we are renewing? And it would be treated like that versus the extensive, long, not working.
right. So
Yeah.
once they reinstate in Oregon, then they'll have to start doing CE to continue renewing here in Oregon. It's really about when you go from having an active Oregon license and letting it lapse, practicing elsewhere, but then coming back to Oregon, reinstatement would direct you to do a large amount of CEs because it's assuming you're out of practice. But these nurses are not out of practice. They're actively licensed somewhere else.
So your definition of practice is just having an active license.
That is our definition of nursing practice.
And if I could, I'd like to add one more context to this. So during these extensive conversations around competency, while it is on the licensee or the certificate holder to make sure that they're maintaining competency on their own with whatever state has defined competency, even though we know there's no research to support it here nor there. It is also the responsibility when they get hired to make sure that the job they took, that they're capable of doing, and that is also on the employer to make sure of it, right? So there's so much that we do in regulatory space, and then there's so much we do that people have responsibility for outside of that.
Thank you. Any other question? Okay, no. I'm going to start my questions.
Oh, yes, please.
All right, so we'll start from page 43. Subsection 3. It's long.
Oh, I see. So,
I think the question comes with the must and the must.
are we looking at rule 0001?
Yes.
So for clarification, so everything we're bringing to you today is rooted in that scope of House Bill 3044. And so this rule is not one that we modified with House Bill 3044. And so we did not look at it today or before you for modification. I think, yes, there is a desire to go back and update rules, clarify language even further, but it's just not related to the scope of that House bill. And so it was not up for proposed for an amendment today.
Thank you. We'll go to page 45.
Mhm.
And I think under the number 6, it says, unless otherwise indicated in this rule, all CEs must be in nursing topics relevant to the applicant's area of practice and license type. I think it felt a little bit extra restrictive that it has to be area of practice and license type. So if I'm an RN that I work in med-surg, it has to be RN and related to med-surg. What if I'm interested in learning something that is more in relation to critical care and emergency? It is still towards my license. So I was thinking instead of the and, could it be or?
You're thinking area of practice or license type?
It just felt restricted. So I don't know if anyone else has thoughts.
I do have thoughts on that. I think that because the CE, we're talking about like, and again, to Executive Director Prusak's comment about like competency, but this is how we are defined, like this is the way that we're ensuring competency. I think it needs to be to their area of practice. If they are moving to a different area of practice, then that makes sense. Although if they're a med-surg nurse and it's something related to critical care or emergency, like those could definitely overlap. But I mean, if they are a med-surg, an adult med-surg nurse, and they are looking at, you know, something to do that's just wildly different than their area, just because they're like, I'm interested in, I don't know, the use of psychedelics in mental health treatment, but that's not anything that they ever look at. Like, I would rather their competency hours be based on the area that they're working in. So.
Thank you. Any other thoughts?
Can I respond to that as well?
Yes, please.
I believe our intent here was not to be very restrictive because again, as board member McKinley Yoder was saying, nurses can make a lot of different things applicable to their practice, but it's more about, you know, if someone submits CE and they did pharmacology training for like a pharmacist role, like there could be a nexus to nursing there, but sometimes we want to see it more clearly that it is actually related to their license type.
And I think you just said the same, that kind of like towards my thought related to the license type, but then it becomes, has to be your area of practice and license type together, because you could do pharmacology, but you work in long-term care because you want to learn more. I'm not dying on that hill.
I believe our intent is to, you know, empower nurses to find ways that CE can relate to their area of practice, but we just are trying to avoid CE on things that are on things completely related to a setting they'll never be in, or in a role they'll never, like they're doing CE for a completely different role, that it's a little harder to tie that to nursing. And so that's why we're trying to define it as area of practice, level of license.
Thank you. Any other question? Okay, I think we're ready for a motion.
Great. Then I will have two motions for you. So I motion the board approves initiating the rulemaking process by providing notice and opportunity for public comment and holding an administrative rule hearing on the proposed amendments to OAR 851-031, 0006, 0008, 0039, 0041, 0042, 0043, 0048, 0051, and 0055 as presented. It's a second motion.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Oleniki Tolbola,
Present, yes.
Claire McKinley Yoder, yes. Joni Kalis.
Yes.
Linda Stanich,
Yes.
Rachel Dennis,
Yes.
Philippa Nesta,
Yes.
Rachel Mitzel,
Yes.
Matt Calzia.
Yes.
The motion is passed.
Then my second motion, I motion the board approves initiating the rulemaking process by providing notice and opportunity for public comment and holding an administrative rule hearing on the proposed repeal of OAR 851-031, 0065 as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. It's been moved and seconded. Oleniki Tolbola,
Yes.
Claire McKinley Yoder, yes. Joni Kalis.
Yes.
Linda Stanich.
Yes.
Rachel Dennis.
Yes.
Philippa Nesta.
Yes.
Rachel Mitzel,
Yes.
Matt Calzia.
Yes.
The motion is passed.
Then my second item for rulemaking today begins on page 68 of the packet. And these changes before you are now related to phase 2 work in Division 62. Again, the standards for certification of nursing assistants and medication aides. And again, much of these are very similar to what we just reviewed in Division 31. A lot of these changes are about consistency in language, clarity in process, aligning terminology throughout the Practice Act. So again, I'm happy to answer any questions on these.
Thank you. Do we have any questions or comment?
Well, I have recently become aware that there are some differences in language, and so I would suggest that in future modifications, we also modify 0020, so it has similar language to the 851-06-0020, so that it has similar language to 0050. But I realize now that this is not part of the House bill changes that need to be made.
Thank you for that. It is noted, and definitely a desire on our end to update someday.
Thank you. I don't think this one has questions except Executive Director has.
Yeah, now that I just want to comment on that. So I think everybody on this board knows we've done division by division by division of really great work, align with our statutes, modernize, update to national standards. And those 60s is what you all will be digging into real soon as we look at federal overlay, everything statute, and we look forward to doing that, I think. Yeah.
Thank you. I think we have a motion.
Then I motion the board approves initiating the rulemaking process by providing notice and opportunity for public comment and holding an administrative rule hearing on the proposed amendments to OAR 851, 062, 0050, 0070, 0071, 0075, 0080, 0090, 0110, 0114, and 0116 as presented.
So moved.
Second.
And moved and seconded. Oleniki Tolbola.
Yes.
Claire McKinley Yoder, yes. Joni Kalis.
Yes.
Linda Stanich.
Yes.
Rachel Dennis.
Yes.
Philippa Nesta.
Yes.
Rachel Mitzel.
Yes.
Matt Calzia.
Yes.
The motion is passed.
Thank you, Dr. Blackhurst. We're gonna have licensing manager Philip Fox in 5 minutes. A pee break.
Did you
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're going to move into page 90. Please go ahead.
All right. I have two licensing exception requests, and we'll start with page 90. Applicant Marina Candova has applied by endorsement to be licensed as a registered nurse in Oregon. They passed the NCLEX exam on October 5th, 2007, and were initially licensed in October 24, 2007 in the state of Arizona, where they hold an active license. Applicant Candova also holds an advanced practice license in the state of Arizona. According to the information provided on their nurses report and supplied by applicant Candova, they were made eligible for NCLEX testing using education from the secondary medical school in Bukhara, Uzbekistan. Applicant Candova was able to provide a credential evaluation that originally was used by the Arizona State Board of Nursing to obtain their initial license. This credential evaluation met OAR 851-031-0039-2 lowercase c, B, C, and D, but was missing specific information regarding the program's accreditation or government approval to operate. In their exception request paperwork, applicant Candova reported to the board they immigrated to the United States as a refugee in 2005 and have not returned to Uzbekistan for over 20 years, and reports not having family members or professional contacts who could assist in obtaining additional documentation to have a qualifying report generated. Due to the challenge of obtaining a new credential evaluation, applicant Candova is requesting an exception to OAR 851-031-0039-2 lowercase c, uppercase a, which states a credential evaluation for international nursing, a credential evaluation for graduates of international nursing education program that does not have an NCLEX code, which includes confirmation of completion of a nursing education program approved by the appropriate regulatory body.
Thank you. Do we have any questions about the exception?
I do. So is she asking for an RN license or an advanced practice license?
Right now, just the RN. I believe they also have an applicant for their APRN license. This got in a while ago. I don't quite remember if they have that in yet, but I believe their advanced practice education was completed in the United States. And so we don't have any concerns about
Okay, so the credential
specifically
valid goes
to
back.
the RN.
The RN, okay,
Yep.
okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other question? I think we're ready for a motion.
All right, I'd like to make a motion that based on the information presented to the board, that they grant Marina Candova an exception to OAR 851-031-0039 to lowercase c, uppercase a as presented.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Oleniki Tolobola,
Yes.
Claire McKinley Yoder, yes. Joni Kalis.
Yes.
Linda Stanich.
Yes.
Rachel Dennis.
Yes.
Philippa Nesta.
Yes.
Rachel Mitzel.
Yes.
Matt Calzia.
Yes.
The motion is passed.
All right, moving on to page 91. Applicant Ed Paez has applied by endorsement to be licensed as a practical nurse in Oregon. They passed the NCLEX on November 1st, 2018, and were subsequently licensed in California on November 1st, 2018. Based on information provided by the applicant Paez, they completed a vocational nursing program from the Trinity School of Health and Allied Sciences on December 14th, 2012. Applicant Paez was unable to provide official primary source transcripts of their education to board staff due to the program being closed. Applicant Paez supplied board staff with unofficial transcripts they retained after graduation. The information presented on the unofficial transcripts matches the applicant's nurses report. Board staff have received confirmation from the California Bureau for Private Post-Secondary Education that this program was accredited at the time Paez attended and completed the program. Due to the closure of this program, applicant Paez is requesting exception to OAR 851-031-0039 to lowercase a, an official transcript that includes the degree, certificate, or diploma awarded, the graduation date, and documentation of a clinical component as defined in OAR 851-006-0030.
Thank you. Do we have any questions?
I have one. Where's the program located? Is it in California?
It is in California, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think we're ready for a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that based on the information presented, the board grant Ed Paez an exception to OAR 851-031-0039 2 lowercase a as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Oleniki Tuabola.
Yes.
Claire McKinley Yoder, yes. Joni Kalis.
Yes.
Linda Stanich.
Yes.
Rachel Dennis.
Yes.
Philippa Nesta.
Yes.
Rachel Mitzel.
Yes.
Matt Calzia.
Yes.
The motion is passed.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take Dr. Blackhurst next.
My next item is an education item located on page 92 of the packet. And this is regarding a continuing approval of Lynn Benton Community College's registered nursing program. We should be joined on the call by their administrator, Dr. Heather Peacock, who is the administrator for the program. So Lynn Benton's registered nursing program underwent a survey in March 2026. It was conducted alongside ASIN, who was the agency who was surveying to grant them accreditation. The survey report and findings are attached. All standards were found to be met on this survey, and as is typical, we provided some recommendations, but just about ways to engage in continuous improvement of the program, nothing specifically that needed addressed or fixed. So I'm happy to answer any questions about this survey. I'm ready for, I will have a motion.
I think we're ready for a motion.
I motion the board grant continuing approval to Lynn Benton Community College's pre-licensure registered nursing program with future surveys aligned with their national nursing accreditation cycle.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Oleniki Tuabola.
Yes.
Claire McKinley Yoder, yes. Joni Kalis.
Yes.
Linda Stanich.
Yes.
Rachel Dennis.
Yes.
Philippa Nesta.
Yes.
Rachel Mitzel. Matt Calzia.
Yes.
The motion is passed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam President, how about I just come to talk about, again, the strategic planning was just put in for you all to review. We already did this at the last meeting, had extensive presentation discussion, but then we, communications manager Bob Holtry created a report. And so I wanted to make sure you had it in that format as well. If there's any questions, we can discuss it now, move it up now, because we have 10 minutes and then take a break before public forum and maybe have the shortest public meeting we've had in years. Yeah,
I think that should be fine.
great. So yeah, I'm really proud of this report as a representation of the work that we as leadership team, board, staff have led on and shared insights and implemented, but wanted to know if anybody had any further questions. I know, Linda, you weren't here for the presentation, but hopefully you can go back and see it. But now you have the report. We all missed you.
I have a question. I know when we talked about, or you gave the presentation last meeting, you had talked a little bit about putting, or possibly changing the NP requirement and broadening it to an APRN board member position. We talked about board member positions, but I didn't see that necessarily in the strategic plan.
Yeah, so that is the legislative body of work we presented to you all of bringing that forward. It is also being brought up from Nurse Practitioner of Oregon and ONA. So from both of the organizations, it will be discussed at the 2027 legislative session.
Okay.
Yeah. I think just since we're on that topic, the other conversation that we'll be having is with the kind of American College of Certified Nurse Midwives about how they are also described, looped in with NPs or not, to move towards the consensus model of that. I have a meeting set up about that as well. And once we have that, and if that is something that coalitions bring forward, legislative supports, it'll be a conversation we have as well.
So just for my own clarity, so with the conversation with the American midwives and then clinical nurse specialists and CRNAs to be like APRNs and not just focus solely on NPs.
That's right.
That's the goal, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Have you met any opposition?
So this is what I know from the national conversation and the state conversation is it's just getting there to be ready to do it. And so I think there's been timing, capacity, right? It does take a lot of work and effort. But I think if the local certified nurse midwives who are going to be having the conversation with me and I'm bringing forward to the board, it seems like they are looking forward to doing that now. So we'll see. I think it's always really important that those professionals are the ones that are leading the conversation, because if not, there will be opposition, and then there'll be that in the legislature, and then won't be successful. So that is the goal, and I think the meeting is in the next few weeks. So I'll report back on that.
I just have a comment. I was sad that I missed that. I expressed that to you. And the day that I knew that there was going to be a 3-day and I was looking forward to it because it recharges what you do in your regular job. And as soon as the state surveyors came in, I said, I have an important meeting I have to go to. And they said, what important meeting is that? And I said, the Oregon State Board of Nursing. And I said, can I get out the second day or whatever? And they were like, I almost felt like I was going to sneak out of the door. But yesterday in my fortune cookie, it said, we all need a little connection sometimes. And that's exactly what I was telling them. Even though we did good, we had a good survey. I did miss all of you guys. It's very different to not be here when you're used to being on track in that. And I need that connection because what I get in my own community. So I am sad. I will watch. I reviewed some of what obviously was written here. Sounds like you guys had a powerful kind of meeting that day.
Yeah, well, we missed you too. And the work is, really great work that is a combination of staff, leadership, and the board. And we've done a lot of really great things.
Just one more, and then along those same kind of lines, we also discussed adding additional board members.
Yeah, so that is also as part of the legislative process, and again, part of ONA and NPO's support as well. Brandy and I will have a lot more work to do with 11 of you. But it is true, this, APRN and ensuring that long-term care isn't taking the place of the admin role. Community-based care. So all that's happening 2027. Stay tuned. Brandy just made a joke, but I won't share it.
We could break out early for a break. And we'll be back at 10:15.
Sounds great.
Let's try be back at like 10:13. So we could set
See you
it.
at 13.
Thank you. We can go back on it. Yes, I do. It's now 10:15 a.m. Welcome and thank you for joining our public meeting today to share public comments. It is June 5th, 2026. The open forum is from 10:15 a.m. to 10:45 a.m. Each person will be allotted 5 minutes. Open forum is a time for members of the public to make general observations or present items of general interest. Open forum is not an opportunity to make requests to the board to discuss past, present, or future investigation, or to discuss matters currently under review by the board. Individuals wishing to make a complaint should refer to the board website. The board will not deliberate on any issues or requests raised during the open forum. The board president has the authority to stop an individual comment if the board president determines that the comments go beyond this directive or as necessary for efficient and orderly conduct of this meeting. The statements made or opinions provided by open forum participant are not statements or opinion of the board. And looks like we have somebody online. If you don't mind unmuting yourself and introducing yourself.
Hi, this is Amber Zupancic. Am I the only one online?
Looks like you are, and I'll start your timer, Amber, and you can go ahead.
Okay, good morning. My name is Amber Zupancic, and I'm an attorney in Portland, and I've had the privilege of representing nurses before the Oregon State Board of Nursing for the last 10 plus years. Over the course of the last decade, I've had a unique perspective on this process because I've represented many nurses during what is often one of the most difficult periods of their professional and personal lives. I'd like to begin with something you may not hear from attorneys appearing before a licensing board. Thank you. Over the last few years, I've noticed a meaningful shift in the board's approach to investigations. For many years, the board's approach often felt predominantly punitive and disciplinary. I now see a greater emphasis on collaboration, understanding, and recognizing the humanity of the licensees who appear before you. That change matters. In fact, there was a time when I seriously considered no longer representing clients before this board because the process had become so extraordinarily difficult. Too many of my clients would not receive a fair and objective process, and it felt nearly impossible to represent them. So I want to acknowledge the progress you've made because I feel that it has made a real difference. But I also want to remind the board of something that can be easy to lose sight of when investigations become routine. For the nurse receiving that investigation letter, there is nothing routine about it. An investigation can become the defining event in someone's life. It affects their livelihood, their reputation, their family, their finances, their mental health, and often their physical health as well. The nurses who come before you are human beings. They are people who have devoted their lives to caring for others, often under extraordinarily difficult circumstances. Over the course of my career, I've had 2 clients pass away unexpectedly during an active investigation by the state of Oregon. Today, I would like to speak in honor of those 2 clients. I don't raise their stories to assign blame, but I do know this: they carried the weight of those investigations every single day. The uncertainty, the fear, the shame, the waiting. Their experiences remind us that the investigative process itself can have significant consequences. Even when discipline is ultimately appropriate, the process should be fair, collaborative, and rehabilitative. Justice is not only about reaching the right outcome, it's also about how we get there. Every licensee deserves a process that is fair, objective, respectful, and as expeditious as possible. I believe that this board is moving in that direction, and I encourage you to continue. Continue to see the person behind the allegations. While allegations can sometimes be true, they sometimes are not, and there are two sides to every story. Continuing to recognize that accountability and compassion are not opposing values. They strengthen one another. And continue to remember that every decision that you make affects a real human being whose life extends far beyond the investigative files sitting in front of you. Thank you for the work that you do, for the progress you've made, and for your willingness to continue improving a process that protects the public while also treating Oregon's nurses with the dignity that they deserve. Thank you.
Thank you, Amber. Do we have anybody else online or anybody signed up? Oh, okay, we'll give them a few minutes just in case someone else comes up.
So I do want to alert you all, while we always keep our public forum open for a full, half hour to make sure anybody who might walk in knowing the time or show up virtually. The other person that signed up, we did make multiple attempts to give them the link. And for some reason, there was issues with that link. And so I was hoping that they would join during the time and be asking for it, but they haven't. So. And also, I know have about 7 more minutes. Another thing I wanted to announce is, even though we were having this first ever experience of an early day, we did want to make sure everybody was fed lunch. I don't want anybody to have to wait around for it. We did request a 10:30 delivery, knowing it would be an earlier day there, and they were the only ones that would deliver. They're not here yet. But if you want to do a little work and wait, we have to go. So it's all up to you, of course, but we'll make sure we are alerted at right when it gets here. Okay. Yeah, so as soon as you do close out the meeting, lunch will be here and you can always, we'll set it up so you can take something to go. I'm always available if you want to eat lunch with me too. We have hit 10:45 mark, but yeah. I think we made history too for our shortest board meeting. And I just want to say before you close us out, it truly is because of so much work that we did for so long and so many board meetings. Because when you do work that's based in statute, you then only have a certain amount of months to then make sure you implement them. And it's why we moved fast and furious when we got out of session. So again, I wanted to make sure everybody got a good break as much as possible because of the work you all did.
Thank you. Do we have any questions, concerns, comments, issues? All right, lunch will be here shortly. It's to go. Otherwise, our next board meeting is going to be hybrid virtual in person here and online, August 19th to 20th. The board meeting, the Oregon State Board of Nurse board meeting is adjourned at 10:46 a.m.